Hello, my name is Irene. I'd like to welcome you to my channel. I talk about my opinions on books and hopefully I can give you a few good recommendations. Before I get started, I'd just like to ask you to please like and subscribe. Today, I'm going to be talking about my favorite male characters in books. I have about 10 here that I will be talking about. Now, these characters aren't necessarily good people, but I really connect to them and I think they are very layered, and that is what makes them a great character. So, I also did a video like this about female characters a week ago. So if you want to see female characters, then you can watch that video. I talk about some of the same books in that video. So I'm just going to get started. Starting off, I have Rhysand from A Court of Thorns and Roses. Now, this isn't the book that I connected to him a lot. This is just a book that he appears in, and then in the rest of the series, he becomes a great character. Now, he isn't the best in the beginning. He really has to become that character that's so layered and stuff, but he is very dark. He's the fairy of the Night Court, and you know, not obviously, but I really connect to Night, and I really like that, and yeah, he really helps out our main character. He's really good to her. He shows her sides to the world that she's never seen before. He just is dark, but he's great. So that is one of my favorite characters, and I do have a book crush on him. Next one I have is Thorn from the Lunar Chronicles. This isn't the first book he appeared in, this is the third book in the series, but this is when he gets his love interest. And I love Thorn because he is a funny character. He's kind of like that bad boy, but who's really sweet and kind, and he's not a bad person. He's funny, he's there for his friends, and his romance is great. I talked about Cress in my last video, but Thorn is great, and he really lightens up the mood. It's like everything he said just makes things easier, and he has like a really big problem in this book where he loses the ability to do something, like a physical problem, and he is so chill about it, so calm about it. He's like, I'll be fine, and he makes jokes about it, like it's okay, and that's what I love about Thorn. So I have Mat from The Wheel of Time. Now, this is the first book in the series, and this isn't where I fell in love with Mat, because in the beginning, he isn't the smartest, you know, he doesn't make the best decisions, and something happens to make him not really act how he truly is, and that is how he was in the beginning. But then as it goes on, he develops so much. He develops this ability that I find so interesting, this ability, this luck ability, and I find that really cool, and he is so far my favorite male character. Now that may completely change because there are 14 books in the series, and I think I'm on the 5th or the 4th. I'm on the 4th, actually. So I don't know if he's going to stay my favorite character, but I find him so interesting, and he's also like the funny type, you know. I feel like he really lightens the mood, and he just tries to protect his friends, and that's what I really love about guy characters in books, is when they try to protect their friends, and they're really sweet, and they're there for everybody. He has definitely some bad moments, some moments where I get mad at him, but as he's just been developing more, I've just been liking him more and more. I have Lightsong from Warbreaker. Now, Lightsong is a god, and he originally was a man that became a god, because that's just what happens in this world, is some people just turn into gods sometimes, and he's like this very powerful person. Now, I love him because he's like a god that doesn't want to be a god. He's really funny, he lightens the mood, and I really love male characters that obviously are funny and lighten the mood. I find that great, and I love because he also connects to the main character and helps her out, helps her understand the world and what's going on, and he's just really sweet and caring, and I really love him. Next, I have Tyrion from Game of Thrones. Tyrion is also that funny character that lightens the mood, and he is also a midget, and I just love him. He is such a memorable character, the things he does, and he is genuinely a good guy. Now, in the Game of Thrones Song of Ice and Fire series, very rarely is someone a good person, like just basically a good person, and I think Tyrion is just plainly a good person, and he develops more in every book. You know, at the beginning he's like obsessed with whores, and then he, you know, just messes around with them, and he doesn't really think about the big picture. But as things go on, he completely changes. He finds love at some point, and he just really cares about things, and he knows how to deal with his family when no one else does, and he really knows how to talk to people. That's one thing about Tyrion, is that he knows how to talk to people. He can talk someone down from absolutely anything. He can talk his way out of anything, and I love that. I love that. He is such a great character, such a powerful, good character. I have Peeta from The Hunger Games. Peeta has always been one of my favorite characters of all time ever since I read this book in middle school. I just don't know why, but I just connect to him. He's such a good, sweet guy that helps out Katniss, and he's like that love-struck boy who just, you know, would really do anything for her. And he's just, as this series goes on, this trilogy goes on, he just like falls more and more into that role, and he develops a lot, and he has his bad moments, but I don't know why, I just connect with him. I always have, and I probably always will. I used to have such a crush on him, and he is so good. He is so good. He is such a good person, and he's strong, and he can really do whatever he puts up his mind to. And it's all based on love. That's just great to me. It's all based on love. Next, I have Sirius from Harry Potter. Now, this character is a lot different than a lot of the other characters. He's an older man. I don't know. He's probably like in his 40s, 30s, I don't know. But I love Sirius. A lot of people say that he is not like Harry's dad figure, but I think he is. I think he really tries to protect Harry, and he really cared about his friends, and he is a good guy. He is a good guy, and at first you don't see that, but then he just becomes like this really good guy that just wants to protect the people that are around him, and he can turn into a dog, and he's a criminal, and all of that is super fun to read and fascinating, and that's why I love Sirius. I didn't put any other characters from the Harry Potter onto this list. Like, Sirius is number one, but I just connect with him. And there's a lot of other male characters in this book series that is good, but they just didn't, I don't know, I love Harry Potter, but they didn't make it on the list, you know? But Sirius did. I love Sirius. Next character I have is the Goblin King from Wintersong. Now, at the beginning I said all these characters are not the best characters, but they are super layered. The Goblin King is one of my favorite characters of all time. This is my favorite book of all time, so that's probably why. But the Goblin King is this man who is, you know, the king of the goblins, and he lives underground, and he met this girl Liesel when she was very young, and he kind of connects with her about music, and he loves music. Like, that is his number one passion. And then Liesel ends up going to the underground with him, and then it becomes into a romance. Now, he has some very bad moments. Like, I would never want to date the Goblin King because of some of the things he says to her. He's kind of toxic a bit, and mean in some ways, but he also just wants her to connect with music and her soul, and to really just fall into that, you know? He's not the best though, but he loves music, he's passionate, and he also protects her, and overall, for the good, he puts her above everything else, you know? From the beginning to the end, he, you know, gets more and more feelings for her, and eventually he does what's best for her. But he is not someone you would want to date, but I think he's so layered, and he's so great, and also mysterious. Like, he's been all these men in the past and now he's someone else, and it's great. I love it. Next, I have Jess from Heartless. So, I just lied. Jess is my favorite, not the Goblin King. Jess is my favorite of all time. This list is obviously not in order, but he is like, he's also a funny character, and he is falling in love with the future Queen of Hearts. And he's just this funny guy who lives on court, and he makes jokes, and he's super talented. He can do absolutely anything, play any instrument, you know, and he is magical and interesting, and he has this past that's also fascinating. He has such an interesting past, and the things that he has done and who he is and what he becomes and all of that, and like the ending broke me. And he is such a good character. I love Jess. I love Jess as a love interest. He is such a great character. He's my #1 favorite. Like, I cannot put into words why he is my favorite, but he's just this magical person that can do absolutely anything and who just loves like nothing else. So yeah, I love Jess. The last character I'm going to talk about is Raphael. Now, this book is about, it's historical fiction, so I think it's pretty much different than all other books. I think all the other books are fantasy, but this is a historical fiction about this Jewish boy, Raphael, and this girl that is German who is his best friend, has been his best friend for life, and when everything starts happening and the Jews are, you know, dealing with all of that, and she has to protect him and hide him. So I love Raphael. I read this book in middle school, and I recently reread it, I think last year, and there's something about him. I don't know if it's because I love friendships that go from best friends as little kids into like something more, and that's why I love him. But he is such a sweet boy. He has a very rough time, obviously, but I love him. He is so sweet, and everything he does is great. So Raphael, one of my favorite characters. Okay, so those are my top 10 favorite characters out of all the books that I have ever read. Now, this list could completely change in a year when I read more books and stuff, and some of these characters are more on the bottom of the list and some of them are on the top, but I love all these characters. They mean so much to me, and there's something about, I think it's rare when you connect with a character on like a whole nother level, because there's just something about them that I love, and I find it hard to find those characters. Like, they're rare to me, you know. It's more rare to find like a good character that I will always remember than finding a good book that I will always remember. I don't know what it's about, and some of these books are my favorites because of the characters, and that's what makes books, is the characters and the things that they go through, and you just connect to these people that don't even exist, but they exist to you. So I love them, and those female characters in the last video, I love them too. I'll probably link that down below. But thank you guys so much for watching. I really recommend all of these books. They're really, really good. So yeah, I will see you guys next time. Bye.